His Excellency Mr. Juan Evo Morales Aima, President of the plurinational state of Bolivia. Your Excellency Mr. Juan Evo Morales Aima, you have the floor, sir.
Well, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much. To the Bureau, brothers and sisters, delegates from all over the world participating in this international conference on the environment, questions for the survival of mankind. Firstly, I'd like to say we're disturbed by the disorganization at this international event where we're so responsible and needs to be addressed with lots of efficiency, because the peoples of the world are looking for results to save lives, to save mankind, to save this planet Earth. When we ask what's happening with the hosts, why the discussions are happening somewhere else, they say it's the United Nations. And when we ask what's happening with the United Nations, they say it's Denmark. And we don't know who's responsible for the disorganization of this international event. Everybody is looking for a solution from heads of state, a proposal for a solution to save lives. So very sincerely and honestly, I'd like to express our great concern at this disorganization. Having heard some statements from presidents all over the world, I'm very surprised, because they're only talking about the effects, not the causes of climate change. I think it's very cowardly not to address the causes of climate change. Here, we'd like to say that the causes come from capitalism. If we don't identify where destruction of the environment springs from, then the life of mankind, we're never going to be able to resolve this problem, which is one for all of us, not just for one continent, one nation, one region. So we have to identify the causes of climate change, and I want to say, with all full responsibility to my people and to the peoples of Earth, that the causes come from capitalism. Of course, we're very different between one president and another, between one government and another, as to what the reasons are. We have different ways of life. We have different cultures. But there is the culture of life and there's the culture of death. The culture of death is capitalism. We, indigenous peoples, say that living better, that means living better at the cost of someone else. The culture of life is socialism. And living well, what are the real differences between living well and living better? Living better at the cost of someone else, exploiting someone else, exploiting natural resources, privatizing basic services. Whereas living well means living in solidarity, in equality, complementarity, reciprocity. Not living better. In scientific terms, Marxism and Leninism say that point to capitalism and socialism. What we say is we see the difference between living well and living better. These two different ways of living, these two different cultures are in debate when we talk about climate change. And if we don't decide what is the best way of living for life, then we're never going to be able to resolve these issues. We have problems in terms of living, luxury, consumerism. which are harming mankind. And we're not telling the truth at these international events. There are presidents who are not telling the truth to the world. Lots of protests about climate change, but nobody protesting against capitalism, which is the biggest enemy of mankind. If capitalism is the biggest enemy of mankind, then they're not telling us this. And at least we in Bolivia are not lying. And that is something sacred. That's what we're doing. I hope that some presidents from the capitalism could come and look at our constitution. We have got that adopted. And what we say, you can't rob, you can't lie, and you can't show weakness. This is a way of serving the people of the world and serving the peoples of Bolivia. So, what I want to do is take this opportunity to say, I have to speak to empty chairs. I regret this. I wonder what was happening before we came in here, that we had to throw so many people out. But we shall have an opportunity to make ourselves heard in other international fora. It's not important that we should be blocked here or that people should be thrown out so that we are not heard. But I do want to say that I'm disturbed by this. I think the best thing would be for our peoples to be able to hear us. If these are the big differences, the ideological, problematic, cultural differences of life, then I draw the conclusion that the delegations present here in this millennium, it's more important to defend the rights of Earth than to defend human rights. The Earth, the planet Earth, the Mother Earth, nature, exists, they exist and will exist without the human being. But the human being can't exist without the planet Earth. So it's our obligation to defend the rights of Mother Earth. The rights of Mother Earth, of the planet Earth, it's more important than defending the rights of human beings. Many people will say, what's life then? If there's no planet Earth, what use is it going to be to defend human rights if there's no life? I welcome the fact that the United Nations has declared an International Day for Mother Earth. It's the Mother Earth. The motherhood is sacred. You can't sell or otherwise violate the sacredness of motherhood. If it's the Mother Earth, then how can policies destroy that Earth? We have huge differences with the Western model, and that's what's in debate now. And that's why I want to say, distinguished presidents, that we have an obligation to free Mother Earth from capitalism, to eliminate slavery from Mother Earth. If we don't put an end to the slavery of Mother Earth, then we're never going to be able to resolve questions about life, mankind, and the planet Earth. Of course, I reiterate once again, we do have great differences with the West, but I want to take the opportunity also to say that it's really important to debate now this matter of climate debt. Climate debt doesn't mean just economic resources. Our first proposal, for example, how to seek the balance between human beings and nature, the Mother Earth, to establish that balance, to re-establish the balance between societies living throughout the world.